Well, I'm out in the orchard for a few minutes here. Got some more pruning to do still. Usually do it in February. Well, people do it in February. I usually do it first part of March. Now here we are into April, and it still needs done. So I'm going to show you a little bit of what I'm doing. This tree has got a lot of suckers coming up, and I'll get back to it a little later. I'm going to work on the Gravenstein here because it's the earliest and it's leafing out already and getting ready to bloom, so I want to get it done. What you're trying to do with a apple and pear trees is bring the tree down and out, the fruit. So you want to open up the middle and bring things down. Now on a young tree, as we have right over here, this is a young Granny Smith, you're going to prune it different. You can't start pruning this one down, you can't get the mower past it and the fruit will be on the ground. So we're still trying to bring this one up, and then getting it to branch where we want. I mean, this, as a mature tree, this branch is still too low. So it's got to continue up, but we don't want it just shooting straight up and getting too tall. So this year I will come in on this one and I'll take out a bunch of the lower branches and I'll just shorten some of these up, and let it keep coming up. But when you get the trees taller like these, you don't want the fruit to end up way up in the top. You want it coming out and down so that you can work around the outside of the tree to pick it. And if you open up the inside of the tree, the light can get into the fruit that's in there. So this Gravenstein is a pretty good example, but it got chewed off twice by deer while it was young, so it's not the shape I'd like. But we can see that there's branches that are growing up that need to be taken off. There are branches that are growing in towards the center of the tree that need to come off, and there are branches that are crossing each other. So in this instance here, you've got two branches that are rubbing and crossing, and you have to remember these are going to add a lot of weight on them when they get fruit on them and all the leaves and the wind's blowing. This is not good to have them touching. So you come in and you make a choice as to which one of these is your best branch to keep. In the theory of taking out the one that is crossing, not the one that's being crossed, you bring the tree down. So if I take this upper branch out that's getting ready to cross this one's coming lower, my fruit will be lower. But at some point I don't want it any lower and I need it to go up. So that's where I have to make a choice. As I get up into the taller branches, then I want to take the one that's coming out and down. Right here, we've got one coming out really nicely, the way that it should be. We've got one going straight up that needs to come out, and another one behind it that's coming over it. Both of those will be taken out. I'll leave this one and I'll cut the end off so it'll slow down. Won't get too long. So I'm going to start to work on this tree. I'm going to try to set this up for time lapse. I've never done it, and get it attached to the other tree back here. But before that, I have the tools. I've got a saw, big loppers, pole saw, and hand pruners. That's the tools I'll be using. So we've opened this tree up. There's a lot of more little branches that I need to get inside and get with the small pruners, probably, or reach in with the loppers. And I want to take out. Smaller branches don't bother me that much. And leaving some of those and some of your uprights that weren't bad suckers will help slow down the suckering for next year of just all of the ones that just shoot straight up. Those are the suckers. So as you're planting your tree, we've got layers of branches and we have space, vertical and horizontal space. So you watch over time which branches you're going to allow to take the space and try to plan it. So I've got a nice branch system right here at a nice level. This one above it is fine now, but in a year or two it'll be lower because we're pruning down, so it'll be in the way. And at that time we'll try to get the one above it to replace that space. And the same coming around here. I'll make a choice when I get here. Am I going to leave this branch system in place, or am I going to let this one come down and take its place here? And at that time, do I have another one above it to replace the space above? And we're a little thick in there, so some of those get weeded out in the next year or so. But I have a tendency to leave extras so that I can make the choice depending on which way they grow. As you prune, if you prune it here enough that that bud will be the one that breaks, this branch will grow down. If you prune it here, this branch will grow up. So sometimes it doesn't do what you want and it breaks a bud back over here and it goes that way. So you have to give it a little bit of time to see which directions the tree wants to go, and I like to just work them a little slower. So that's tree pruning video. See if it turns out. I've got a number more to do, but I got other stuff to do this morning.